Welcome to the webinar, everybody. My name is Amir Mahmood, and today I'm actually really excited to kind of get started on talking about a particular idea, a particular concept called promotional cycles. Now, the important thing about this one idea, this one concept that I could share with you can literally put hundreds of thousands of dollars into your business. In fact, it's the very reason how I'm able to get people to show up to events, people to show up to webinars, how I actually cultivate an audience, build a relationship with them, figure out what the problems are, and effectively sell to a mass group of audience. And it's all done through groups. It's all done through promotional cycles. It's all done through sequences. And when you've got those pieces put together, you can literally ultimately build you a 6- and 7-figure empire really easily in the next 90 days. So today, I really want to dive into this deeply. I'm just going to double check here because we are live. I'm going to double check that this is streaming here inside of our little Facebook group. And it looks like it is. So cool. So I'm going to keep going here. So comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. If this is posted inside the forum, let me know what your thoughts are. I want to be able to give you guys exactly what I kind of use right now to kind of go ahead and build this massively huge empire of people moving in ways that you ask them to and moving them, and pretty much like imagine having a herd of people moving them into a product, getting them into a product, and then thinking about the next step and getting them somewhere else. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal, especially if you're in a position where your business is kind of stuck, where there's stagnation. You don't know how to get customers. You don't know where, what to do when you get them. I hope by the end of this training video, it's going to give you everything you need to kind of go ahead and put that information into action to give you the result you're looking for. So I'm going to open up a notepad here, and I'm going to just start sharing here. There's a couple of things that are really important. The first thing in terms of actually having effective promotional cycles is I want to ask the question, you know, what's your end? What's your outcome? What's the whole point of what you're doing? What is your end in mind? For us, we actually bring people to events. We just basically have we give them the opportunity to learn how to build a funnel. We show them how to do it. We help them do it. And pretty much we also offer additional services where it's higher ticket group coaching, as well as the ability to provide ongoing services to help you continue building your business. So what is your end? So I'm going to start with this. I'm going to outline it. So number one, what's the point? You know, like, how does it end? How does it all end? You know, and take out a pen and piece of paper right now. Put it in front of you as you go through this video or listening to this audio. Really get clear on what is your end. And then the next question to ask is, how do you get them there? Now, we talk about traffic. We talk about capture pages. We talk about conversions. We talk about email copy. We talk about all these actual skills. But what's more important is the path. What kind of pathway are we going to carve for the customer or for the potential customer? And how do we craft that path in a way that when they walk through that path, their lives change in that process, right? So, you know, what's the point? How does it all end? And what does the path look like? I think I was just watching a video last night of another marketer who's talking about the concept of, hey, you know, you get them on your list, you mail them something, you give them a free CD, you give them a DVD, and then basically you offer them the ability to go through a 4-hour training. And at the end of that 4-hour training, you basically invite them to take the next step and say, hey, if you're interested, you know, fill out an application for coaching. And then after you fill out the application for coaching, one of our sales consultants or one of our consultants will get on the phone with you, find out what you need, and then offer you a program that works for you within your budget. And then that's pretty much what the path looks like, right? They come in off of a free offer that comes in the mail. They consume a few hours of training. they're asked to go ahead and take the next step, which is fill out an application. And then after they fill out an application, somebody's going to call them and then offer them something of value based off their needs, wants, and desires, right? So that's what the path looks like. And if you think about something like this, what does your business path look like? Do people have, and these are questions to ask yourself, right now, do people have a way, do people have a way to get something of value for free? And I'm going to say free in quotations because you're either exchanging it for their email, you're exchanging it for their address, you're exchanging it maybe for their phone number, maybe it's even for their phone number, depending if you're doing it in person. So the question I'm asking right now, do you have a way to go ahead and give something away of value for free to collect customer information? And in marketing, we call this a lead magnet, right? What is your lead magnet? Do you have one? If you don't have one, you need to craft one, right? You need to craft one. And then number two, and these are just kind of like sub to the path. So what is your lead magnet? The next question is your lead magnet effective? And guess what? If you are marketing to different groups, different audiences, different places, the lead magnet is going to be different. So because your lead magnet may be one thing for a particular audience, doesn't mean that your lead magnet for another audience is going to be exactly the same thing. In fact, that's actually quite not true. I tend to even think it might be close to near impossible, right? So your lead magnet should be able to solve a problem very clearly, whatever that problem is, in a very clear way, and it needs to give them value. And you need to be able to build a list off of that. That's the power of a lead magnet. Now, you've got your lead magnet. The next step is your lead magnet, converting? Is it working? Is it building your list? Or is it getting people to opt in? Now, once people have opted in, what does your relationship follow-up sequence look like? Is there something happening in your emails? Do you have some sort of live event? Do you have a way to engage those people to take the next step or to take the next action, right? So what does your relationship look like? So how do you, and here's a question, how do you begin building that relationship? And ask yourself these questions. What am I doing right now to build relationships with new customers who get on my list? And I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of people get really good at get the leads, get lots of potential customers, and then literally do nothing with it. And I would say that's not good for your time. That's not good for your energy. It's not useful at all for you. In fact, it's probably it's just altogether not a good idea. Because what you'll start to do is you'll spend a lot of time trying to get people, new people, and you won't have enough time to follow up with the old people. And then what happens is you're so focused on getting new people that you're not doing anything with that list. And then the list, what we call it, goes cold. Couple weeks down the line, people forget who you are. Life happens. They move on. Their interests change. They solve the problem without you. All kinds of other stuff. So if you're not immediately building that relationship and leading it towards that first sale, you are, when I talk about promotional cycles, right? I'm assuming you know how to get leads. I'm assuming you have a lead magnet that works. I'm assuming that people are opting into your list every day, if not every day, every other day at the very least, but you know how to get leads. And the next question to ask yourself is, now that you're having leads and you're getting people on your list, what is the next step you give them? And this question is so important because a lot of people miss this. And I'm going to give you a 30-day promotional cycle. I'm going to give you a 1 month, 30-day promotional cycle. And so you have 1 month. Let's just say you need to pay your bills at the end of this month. Your bills are $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000. You need to pay your bills, right? And those bills are coming up. And the question is how do you get those bills paid? You got 30 days to do it. So what do? The first thing you're going to do is everything that happens in those 30 days should be tailored for specific dates and times within that month, right? There should be a focal point at which you should be, and this is the difference between campaigns and promotions. Promotions are saying, hey, go do this, and then tomorrow they change their mind and go, hey, go do that. And then they go, hey, go do that. Hey, go do that. And then it's just basically a bunch of, hey, by the way, go do that. And it's not that that doesn't work. It's just nowhere near as effective as for a whole 30 days, you're telling them to do one thing. And so a lot of people who get into marketing, the response I hear is that, oh, well, I told them to do it. Like, why don't they just do it? And marketing is not about telling people to do something once. Marketing is all about making it very clear what the next actionable step that person needs to take. And not just make it very clear, but get them to take it through as many ways as possible and communicating it in as many modalities. Like, for example, when you get onto these Monday night webinars, what are the next step that we tell people to do? We tell people to go ahead and join the mastermind, right? The way they can join the mastermind, if there's either a button below this video, and if there isn't, then you would go to gurutrainingcamp.com/mastermind. You could sign up for a $1 trial. That's how we actually go ahead. That's the promotion cycle. We get people to a particular event and we tell them what the next actionable step is. We don't actually go ahead and change what we're doing typically on a Monday night. We won't unless we're coming up towards an event or we have a specific product we're launching. But typically what we're only saying is join the mastermind. And the power in that is that there's a consistent message over a period of time. And a lot of people don't see the value in that because they feel like they're speaking over and over again and people aren't listening to them. And when people tell me that, oh, I keep telling people, to do a particular action and they're not taking that action, well, you need to get creative. You need to become inventive. You need to find a new and different way to explain that concept. You need to tell they're missing a piece of information. The reason why people don't go ahead and take a buying decision or take the next action step is because you're not answering the question they have in their head in order for them to sign up, right? So if you tell somebody to go ahead who's opted into your list to buy something from you and they're not buying from you, then you just have to come in and say, hey, one of the benefits is this. You should buy. Next week, one of the benefits is that. You should buy. Next week, one of the benefits is this. You should buy. Next week. And what does that actually do for the customers who have bought? They don't actually perceive it as being pitched again. They perceive it as, I knew I made the right decision. And I think that's interesting because I thought that if I were to go ahead and sell and there's a group of people in front of me and some of them are my customers and some of them aren't, then it would feel weird to go ahead and tell them to go ahead and buy something or like, why am I trying to continually sell something? Well, the customers who come back and see me again, they're like, wow, he's saying the same message. He's not changing his mind. He's offering the same product. He's saying take that next step. I just did what he told me to do, and he's telling everybody to do that, so he knows what he's talking about. He's right. I'm confident in his ability to lead, so I'm going to continue following his instructions. That is the big difference between people who go ahead and actually stay consistent enough, long enough, right, within a promotion, you should have an overall promotion cycle, and then you have pretty much sub-promotional cycles. And that's kind of like the best way I could explain it right now. In fact, maybe I may be able to explain it a little bit better with this little marker board here. But essentially, think about this. you get people to come to a live experience, and that live experience needs to tell them to go to the next one. And that live experience is going to be directed to get them to take the next action. And the more and more you can get people to attend these live experiences, these live events, what starts to happen is your business actually becomes alive. Your customers who are on the internet that are kind of scattered all over the place, who are getting an email or a text message, who are at work, and all these different things that are happening that are consuming their lives, you need to be able to grasp their attention, be at the forefront of what's actually happening. Because guess what? You have a product or service that provides and changes people's lives, that's valuable, that makes a difference in other people's lives. And the only thing you need to have is enough of the right people that you can speak to that have your attention long enough, that are exposed to your message, that are exposed to who you are long enough for them to go ahead and make that buying decision. And guess what? It takes time. I said this at our last our weekend workshop that we just had. We just held our second Guru training camp here in Houston. It was absolutely phenomenal. People figured out who their customer was. They went ahead and built out capture pages. We showed them how to set up merchant accounts. We showed them even to the extent of like going ahead and building a business from the bottom up. Literally everything they needed, shooting videos, setting up lead pages, what an effective email follow-up sequence looks like. All the different things that people need to go ahead and launch their business to get it to the next level. We've actually went ahead, demonstrated. We've spent hours showing people how to set ads and run ads and how it works and why to do it. And so if you think about this, if you think about promotion strategies, if you think about what actually makes a big difference in your business, is you're bringing people to a specific place at a specific time where you can capture their attention, and you are directing them to the next step. And then when you do that, your emails, your videos, your follow-up sequence, your posts on Facebook, all of the things that you have should be saying that same message. Now what the customer or the potential customer, the client, the lead sees is this person, just every single time I listen to this guy, he's telling me to join the mastermind. And I go, that's right, right? Every time he goes through an email or he watches a video or if he comes to a live experience, it doesn't matter what happens, no matter how the exposure is, that is the first next actionable step that I want very clear to my potential customers so they never get confused. I want them to know that this is the next step and it's good for them, and here's why. And if it's not, we will gladly refund your money, right? So there's a no risk, 14-day money back guarantee. If there's any problems, we will gladly give you the money back, right? Because we're not interested in just making money. We're interested in helping people and changing their lives. And so if you think about this big picture standpoint here and promotion cycles, what does a 30-day promotional cycle look like? A 30-day promotional cycle looks like what you're doing for that entire month. Well, whether you have a 2-week promotion cycle, a 1-week promotion cycle, a 4-week promotion, excuse me, a 4-week promotion cycle, it's gonna change the game for you. I'll tell you what, you should literally start with a 4-week promotion cycle, a 30-day promotion cycle. And why am I gonna tell you to do that? Because if you're brand new and you're getting started, you're gonna need enough time to get as many people as possible to that live experience. So what does that say? Pick a date, put it on your calendar. Today, right now, is November 10th, right? 2014. That's what it is right now. Maybe a year from now, you guys are still watching this video, and this video is probably, this concept that will live throughout time. So it doesn't matter when you're watching this video, whether you're watching it live or watching the replay, it doesn't matter. This concept works forever. Pick a day on the calendar. Do it 30 days from today. So I'm going to say December 4th, right? And on December 4th, let's just say I wanna hold a specific event. This is gonna be my first live event. It could be in person, it could be a webinar, it could be a teleconference. So let me explain the different methods. The first one is Google. Let's just say it's basically a video call. And it doesn't matter what method you use. There's a bunch of tools out there. I'm right now on a Google Hangout. It could be a Skype team call, a group call. You know, it could be whatever it is, depending on the number of people you get there. Let's say Google Hangout, Skype, go to meeting or go to webinar. There's pretty much some kind of video experience. Same thing that you can do, and this is an audio call. An audio call would be something like, you know, freeconferencecall.com or freeconferencecall HD. They're free. You can get 1,000 people dialing into a specific number. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. Think about that as a tool for you when you're building your business, that you can get up to 1,000 people listening to you. And I actually did a conference call series. I was doing it on Sunday night last year, and I did it for 10 Sunday nights in a row. And I really built a loyal following audience. In fact, I think the first conference call I did, I had over 150 people, 160 people. That's going off memory. It was well over 100 people on my first call. And so don't underestimate yourself, guys. You could really get a lot of people to an experience. So audio call. So I'm going to just say there's different services, different phone services. And if you guys are a Mastermind member, all the notes I'm typing up here, I'm going to post inside the forum as well. And if you're watching the replay inside our forum, it'll be below. You'll be able to download it. So there's a video call, there's an audio call, or maybe there's like a chat. I mean, I probably wouldn't do some kind of a chat thing, but I would just say there's also a live experience. Live experience. I would say, hey, there's meetup.com as something like that. Meetup.com. There's just different ways you can gather people to a specific place in a specific room, whether you pay for the room or not or whatever. Just get people to a specific live experience. And I'm just going to just leave Meetup there. That's probably the most predominantly known website and service for it. Okay, so it's December 4th. I'm helping you set up your first 30-day promotion, right? So December 4th, and that's 30 days from today, you're going to have some kind of experience. You get to decide what you want it to be. It could be a video, it could be an audio, it could be a live experience. Pick it. Once you've decided what it is, the next question is what are you actually going to do there? What are people learning? What are people learning? What is it that you're going to offer to them that's going to change their lives, make it easier, make it better? And here's the thing, because you're promoting towards something, you've got two options. You can actually keep it free, or you can make it paid. If you want to have something for free, for example, then you can say, hey, you know, all you got to do is register here. This is how you get people to get them to RSVP for it, register for it somehow, so you get their information, right? So you want to be able to get their information. Okay, so what are people going to learn? Collect their information, whether you make it free or paid, will really just depend on the venue. Like, for example, if you're doing a live experience, there's no way you could do that for free. You have to charge. Well, I would say, let me take a step back. You don't have to charge, but if you don't charge, you run the risk of losing money if you don't make sales at that event, right? You need to charge because there are hard costs to setting that up. A Google Hangout is free. Skype is free. You know, GoToWebinar, wow, maybe $100 to get going. A conference calling is free. That's the power of the internet, is that you can actually use the internet for free to gather people. And it doesn't actually require you to leave anywhere. Like, for example, I'm at home right behind my computer, right? I don't have to go anywhere. It doesn't cost me anything to be on these calls, right? It allows me to share my message with as many people as possible all around the world. Some people are on the East Coast, on the West Coast, some people on the other side of the world. So they're literally dialing in from Singapore, Australia, just different parts of the world. People can come in, interact. People from New Zealand. It doesn't matter where they are. They're allowed to kind of access what's going on here. I get to share a message, and if that message is relevant to that audience, and I propose an offer that's irresistible, and I show them how they can go ahead and take the next action by buying online, and then make it really easy by giving them an option to click or type in a specific link, people will buy. That's just how it works, right? It just works that way. So you've got options, free or paid. If this is your first event, I would just say make it free. Just get people to show up, because once you do it and you get people to show up and you do a good job, then what you could say is, look, this is so bad. Don't model this part. I said, look, because this event was absolutely amazing, the next time we're going to charge for it. And if we do, and when we do, we'll be charging even more. And so what starts to happen is you've built up the confidence, you built up the reputation, you built up the value, and you've built up the reciprocity. So at the very least, when you basically get them to show up to that experience, you could at least offer them another experience that's identical to that one, and they will buy it because they attended that one and they know the value of it. All you have to do is just say, well, what is it worth, right? What is it worth to do what you just did again? You just experienced it. I'm not going to be a salesman here and put a number and try to get rich. I'm just going to be honest with each and every one of you as customers and say, you just experienced hanging out with this group for maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, and the value that you received from spending your time here, how much would you pay for it? In fact, at the end of our event yesterday, the question I asked every single person in that room was how much money do they think they'll be able to make as a result of attending our event? Somebody says 4 times his income. He believed that because of the information he shared, he's able to take his business and make it 4 times. He can quadruple his paycheck from his business. And so if you think about this, let's just say you're making $20,000 a year running your own business, and you're kind of in the startup phase. You can literally go ahead and hit $80,000 or $100,000 as a result of learning that information. Now the question is okay, well, how much would somebody pay to learn how to create more money? And how much would somebody pay to justify an increase in $60,000, right, in their annual income, right? How much is that worth to them? Well, if I charged them $50,000 and they went ahead and made $60,000 as a result of learning what I taught them, would it be worth it? Would you train $5 for $6? And the answer is always. So now you can easily sell the next experience now, and that's on a theoretical standpoint. That doesn't mean this person's going to go out there and obviously make that money, which is why we don't charge $50,000 for our events, and we charge something like $1,000, right, where it's a lot more achievable and a lot more reasonable for people to get their hands on. And I think we may be even doing a special promotion where it's a little bit less than that, because we want people to genuinely come out and experience their business growing and transforming right in front of us. Because if we can get people to come and build their funnel, build their business, and start getting results when they walk out, they'll not only be happy, but they'd really be willing to invest more for higher quality training, for higher quality content, for higher quality services, for higher quality intimacy and group coaching, and just basically more specificity in solving their problem. And that's really the magic, right, is being able to put that into perspective. So let me take a step back and say, okay, we've got promotional cycles. We've got set it out 30 days from now. We've got, what's the end in mind? What, having a particular end. And what does that path look like? We've got a lead magnet. We know that it's converting, that you've got some sort of a list, that you're building a relationship with a list. And let's say you have none of that. And this is one of the powerful things about following this promotion cycle strategy, is that you can literally get people when you don't have a list, when you don't have a lead magnet, when you don't have a follow-up sequence, and you can build one as you go and learn from it, right? So this actually goes ahead and becomes your lead magnet. Your 30-day, on the 30th day, you have some sort of a live event, whether it's a conference call, an audio call, or a live experience, whatever it is, that becomes your lead magnet, right? And if it's free, that's your lead magnet. That's how you get their name and their contact information and their email, etc. Now, obviously, if it's free, just expect lower attendance rate. If it's paid, expect a higher attendance rate. We say on free stuff, let's just say about 50%. On paid stuff, it's about 80%. So there's an extra 30% of people who will be attending and showing up. So, what are people learning? What are you giving to them in that 30th day that's going to change their life? And so I'll tell you this, when I first did my first promotion, I actually walked around telling people that, hey, I'm putting something together. You're going to be one of the first people there. And because you are one of the first, I want to be able to help make sure that your problem is solved. How can I best serve you? How can I best help you? What could I share? What do you want to learn? What would you like to hear about? That if I talk about, if I share, if I expose on so-and-so date and time, that would make sure that you would absolutely attend and even pay for that event. And so now what you're doing is you're setting the expectation in that person's mind that you want to make sure just because it's free doesn't mean there's no value. It's free because you want to help them get to the results they're looking for, and you're helping them start it up. And you're doing this because you're passionate about building and solving a problem. Now, of course, I've had people say like, hey, are you going to sell something at this place? Or are you going to sell something there? And the answer is absolutely. You're in business, and selling something isn't a bad thing. You're solving problems, right? You're solving problems. If you're solving problems, sell as many times as you need to sell to solve that problem, right? So what are people learning? Now that you've figured that out, I'm going to say there's two strategies for that. One is that if you understand your customer and your target market, come up with something attractive. So create or share like some really good stuff. Now, don't share puny stuff. Like share like your best content. Like right now, I'm sharing this promotion strategy with you. I believe that this is probably one of the best information in terms of building a long-term sustainable business from the ground up, from a startup perspective. And I believe that if you actually apply the strategy, you can instantly launch your business. In fact, this is the same strategy I used to make my first 45K in a single week. This is how I did it. I followed this strategy, right? So what are people learning? Share your best content. Don't skimp out. The reason why is if you go ahead and just share a little bit and they come to your event, what they'll do is like, this person's not really sharing quality stuff. I'm not sure why I should listen to this person. I'm not sure why I should buy. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what my next actionable step is, etc. And so what you want to say is, okay, here's the knowledge bombs, and if you apply this knowledge bomb, it's going to change. Here's exactly how you do it, right? And here's the overall big picture. Go ahead and apply. And so share your best content. And not only that, do you share your best content, and you give them everything from just a big picture standpoint. The next step is, if they want more details, is to buy a particular service or offer. But you don't want them to be dependent. They shouldn't need to feel like they're dependent on the information. They should feel like that information that you share with them inside the training course is a shortcut, right? This is important. It's a shortcut. Whenever you're selling something, you want to make it an easier and faster way for them to get to, I guess you could say, the top, right? There are some particular products or services out there that if you don't buy their most expensive package, obviously you're going to get some shortcuts, but you're not going to get all of the shortcuts that you may need and that you're looking for. And the reason why it's priced at that point is because it's actually valued at that point. and the information in there can really go ahead and change the game for multiple businesses. So share your best content, and you've got this free event. You've shared your best content, and then kind of what you're saying is, here's the next step. And what we actually call it like next step marketing. And so what you're actually just saying is, here's some information. They come. Here's the next step that you need to take. Here's the next step you need to take. Here's the next step that you need to take. And when you do that, it changes, right? It totally changes the flavor at which you're selling and promoting and building your business. So let's go back to big picture here. We've got 30 days. You've picked a day. You're saying, is it a video? Is it an audio? Is it a live experience? You've got something really attractive that you're offering there. It's whether your best content or you're doing the lean startup approach where you're just asking people what they want to learn, right? Asking them, what is it that you want to learn? What is it that I can help you with? What could I share with you that can actually help you make the extra 6 figures in your business that you're looking for? And then you say, well, here's the next step. The next step is to go ahead and do X, Y, Z. And so the next step is to buy something. It has to be to buy something. If somebody comes to a training and we don't offer them something to buy, I have literally killed the momentum in my business. I want you to think about this. If you don't sell something, you are killing momentum in your business. You need to constantly and consistently be selling. I'm going to say that again. You need to be constantly and consistently be selling. And if you're not doing that, I'm going to say it again. If you're not doing that, you are killing the momentum in your business. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing more upsetting than building so much momentum and then slaughtering that momentum. It's literally like, imagine spending months, right? Spending months to build up that energy, to build up that movement going forward, to build that up, right? And then it's almost like, you're pushing a train. Imagine you single-handedly spending 2 or 3 months, and some of you may be feeling that way. You're pushing this train, and it's not going anywhere. And as soon as it starts moving, as soon as it starts to go forward, as soon as you start to not have to push as hard and the train starts to move slowly on its own, you literally you run to the front of the train and you literally place a block and the train just stops, right? And you have spent 3 months of your time, morning, afternoon, dinner, just trying to find ways to push that train. And after 3 months of sweat equity and work, you've pushed that train only to stop it the next day. Is kind of really counterintuitive. And that's actually what's happening. I've seen people do it. They'll start selling something, and I've actually experienced it. I've done it myself. Start selling something, and then you sell a lot, and then you stop selling, and then all of a sudden everything you've built moving forward has crumbled right before you. You have to start at zero. Okay? I'm going to say it again. You start at zero. And it's okay because you can go back to the top because you've been able to do it. You can do it again faster, quicker, easier. Not only are you able to do it again faster, quicker, easier, but you can keep scaling it and keep growing it and keep moving things forward. So, so you don't want to ever kill the momentum. You want to be constantly and consistently be selling. So now, if people don't buy, now here's 2 things that happens. If people buy, you want to give them another place where they can have live interaction with you, right? What happens when people buy? If people buy, they should be going to to another place that's exclusive, whether it's a membership site, whether it's another call, or whether it's something else. It's another place where they can be in touch with you, and it's exclusive. And so when people buy, we go ahead and we offer basically a mastermind call. And this is on Tuesday nights. If you're not part of our mastermind, it's really easy to join. Right now, we're currently offering a $1 trial for 1 week. and then it's $97 a month, and it literally has a catalog of months of information. In fact, if you join as a mastermind member right now, we actually have our entire weekend that people have paid hundreds of dollars for, like literally, hundreds and hundreds of dollars for to be there. You want to be able to take advantage of that because all the recordings are already inside of the mastermind. It's already there. So all you have to do is log in, go into your account, find the live workshop tab, click on it, and there's 4 days, hours and hours. I think there's over 40 videos that we created over the last 4 days that are inside the forum that you have immediate access to as a mastermind member. And if you're already a mastermind member, awesome. Now you have access to all that training. So so where people buy, you also want to gather them. So let's go back, 30-day promotion cycle. You're going in there, you're saying here's an event. All you're doing for 30 days straight is getting people to that event. Whether it's a video, whether it's an audio, whether it's a live experience, I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. I don't care how many capture pages you create. I don't care how many ads you run. I don't care how many flyers you print. I don't care how many letters you send out. I don't care how many phone calls you make. Everything you do needs to be directed to that one outcome, and that's getting people to attend that experience. Now, this is how you can build a large and sustainable business, right? That can actually grow without your involvement. And this is important because typically what people will do is they'll find somebody that they can speak to and they'll try to sell to them one-on-one, right? You'll just say, oh, I have this person right in front of me, I should sell to them. And I'm not saying you shouldn't sell to people if you're talking to them, but unless you're selling high ticket premiums, there's no point in spending a half hour to 45 minutes on the phone to sell something for $7 or $20 or $50 or even $100, right? There's just really no point in doing that. In fact, we offer our mastermind members, after they sign up, a 15-minute call with either Will and I, because we want to make sure that the mastermind is the right fit and we can continue talking to them and building that relationship and also figuring out how we can best serve them. And see, that's different than spending 45 minutes to get somebody to buy something for $97. It's not that we wouldn't do it. It's just that we know how to do it without doing that. So the question is why would we do that? We just wouldn't. It doesn't make any sense, right? What I say here on a training is exactly what I'd kind of say over the phone. There's really no difference in terms of what we would say. And so if people wouldn't buy off of this, maybe they have some questions. I'll answer some questions before they sign up. But I'm not going to sit there and try to tell them what's the power of the mastermind, why they should sign up. There's sales pages and videos, sales videos, and webinars and trainings and emails, and all of the content that we produce does that for me. And so I'm consistently creating new content, and William is consistently creating new content around that as well. So together we're consistently preaching the same message to the same group of people who are being exposed to us, and what they're starting to do is starting to take that action and getting to the next level, right? So that's what I really want you to do. I want you to just map out on your calendar, pick 30 days from now, figure out what you're going to offer, figure out how you want to deliver what you're offering, right? If you're explaining some kind of a training that uses a visual context, come on, use a video for that, right? If you're delivering some kind of experience where people can only have to listen in, then have them listen in. If you're doing something that local and you have a way to deliver some kind of a live experience, even better, right? And what starts to happen is you get people to that experience, you launch something. So our webinars pretty much get people to, our Monday night webinars get people to our Tuesday night mastermind calls. And also inside the forum, also with hundreds, right now it's going to be well over hundreds of hours of training. And when I say that, we have, I think collectively, Will and I have over about 300 or 400 videos. And some of these videos are 2 to 3 hours long. Some of them are a half hour. Some of them are an hour. But typically these training videos, when Will and I speak, we don't really go short. Plus, we've got a ton of content on our blog as well. But what I'm saying is we have hundreds of hours of training. So in terms of training, Do you need hundreds of hours of training? The answer is absolutely not. But if you have a question, you better bet that somewhere inside of our forum, there's an answer to that question. There's a video for that question. There's a solution to that. And one of the reasons why this hangout here is talking about promotion cycles, it's because it was a question that people didn't know how to answer. And so you can literally launch your business by picking a day and time, 30 days from now, having some kind of a live event experience, and getting as many people as possible there. When you send out emails, when you talk to people, when you meet people, whatever you do, you get them to that experience. At that experience, you're going to go ahead and offer something and sell something. And if you're doing a 1 hour call or 2 hour training call or whatever it is, you're probably going to sell them on a greater experience where maybe it's a full day, or maybe it's just more content, right? So if you're on a 1 hour hangout, you literally get access to hundreds of hours inside of our mastermind. And when you join the mastermind, we're not going to give you more content. Our next offer on top of that is come to our live events. We're doing them every 3 months. And here's what I'm going to tell you to do right now. You probably want to pin down the dates for our next event. It's in San Diego, sunny San Diego, in 2015 in February, on February 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Okay? Again, that's February 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. We're doing another Guru Training Camp live experience where we're going to actually go through your funnel. We're going to help you set up your capture page. We're going to help you set up your thank you page. We're going to help you set up the email follow-up sequence. We're going to help you set up your merchant account. We're going to help you take a look at your customer. We're going to help you give you the feedback you're needing to go ahead and build your business. We're going to take a look at your offers. We're going to show you how to systemize it. We're going to show you how to scale out your business. We're going to show you how to not be overly involved one-on-one with every customer, with every client. We're going to show you how to really build the dream business that you've been looking for. And so it is on February. The link's coming out soon. I don't know it off the top of my head, but be on the lookout for it. Check your emails. And guess what? We're in a 90-day promotional cycle. We are spending the next 90 days promoting this event. And so as I'm explaining to you what promotions are, right, we have a specific, right now, a Monday night promotion that promotes to our mastermind. And in our mastermind, there's a promotion to our mastermind to our live experience. And from our live experience, we're going to have additional things that we're going to be offering as well. We've done high-end coaching. We're in the middle of figuring out exactly what the sweet spot is to help as many people as possible. So that's pretty much what promotional cycles are. Have some kind of an experience that can promote to your next experience, which is your paid product, and have a promotion for that to have another paid offer. And what you're going to start to do is systemize your business and start getting people to move from one to the next. And once you get that happening, all you got to do is scale it up and systemize it and get people in. This replaces your problem in terms of if you don't know what your lead magnet is, if you don't know what to offer, you can figure out who it is by talking to your customers. You can figure out what to offer while you're speaking to your customers at the event. You can do a lot of things impromptu live as you're building your business. And that's the magic that really makes the difference between people who are trying to get things perfect and get things up and running versus the people who build a business and learn at the same time. So with that being said, I hope you understand promotional cycles now. I think I gave a really good, big picture understanding of what it is and how it looks like, and figure out, how many days it takes. And here's another thing. When you say you're going to do an event in 30 days, if you're picking a specific day and time to do some kind of a promotion, we've got people inside of our mastermind who attended our last event who said, hey, in about 10 days, I'm doing a webinar. Whatever it is that you're promoting, also think about what's your outcome. You want to ask the question, I know I'll be successful in this promotion if I have 30 people, 40 people, 50 people, 100 people, 500 people, 1,000 people. I want you to ask yourself that question. I know I'll be successful when my promotion has been successful when I have gotten X many people to register. And so when you do that, what you've also done is you have a number that you're working for. So when you're talking to people, when you're getting on a call, when you're selling something, you're working towards that number. And so you go, okay, I've got 3 people today. It also gives you feedback. If I'm trying to get 100 people to the next event and I've only got, 10 people, then I have to say, well, what am I going to do to get the other 90? And then I get creative and do a bunch of stuff. And let's say I get 5 more. Then I go, how long did it get me to get that 5? If it took me a month to get 5, then I'm not doing something right. If it took me 30, if it took me an hour to get 5 more people, whatever I did, keep doing that, because I know I'm going to get 100 people a lot quicker. So it always just takes to step back and look at what you're doing and ask yourself this question: what do you have to do to get the number you're looking for? So have a date, have a number of people, have that expectation, and just do whatever you have to do to get people there. My name is Amir. This was an awesome hangout. Leave me your comments below. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys on the next training. In fact, I think what we're also doing, we're in the shift of going ahead, and we're probably going to do these Monday night trainings every 2 weeks, and instead of every week. And so this is actually a big change, and the reason for that is because of promotional cycles. We actually don't have enough time in 7 days to promote as much as we want to promote. So instead of actually just doing them every week, we want to be able to have more time to promote. And this is part of the feedback loop, right? If you're promoting something and if you don't give yourself enough time to get enough people there, well, then extend the amount of time, but don't keep extending it, right? If you keep saying, oh, I'll do it next week, I'll do it next week, I'll do it next week, that's a whole other problem. But we've tested it. We've done it every week. We've had 50 to 100 people even at one time show up to our Monday night calls. Every week has been a little bit too much in terms of getting newer people onto our calls. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and tweak that, adjust it, and do it every 2 weeks. And that gives us 14 days to campaign to our list, to our emails, to our Facebook, to our ads, to get them to the next event. So every month there's going to be a big every month there's going to be at least 2 promotions that are going to be very clear. We're going to pick a topic on what we're going to talk about on our Monday night calls, and then we're going to spend about a week and a half preparing for that training, and then we're getting as many people as possible on that. So you guys are going to see this promotional strategy in place. You're going to see the change we'll see the difference in our sales from 7 days to 14 days. And we'll also see the number of attendance actually on our webinars even higher. And so these are some of the questions you want to ask yourself is, if you're doing them too frequently and not getting enough attendance, stop it and adjust. If you're doing them too infrequently and you're not getting enough repeat attendance, then stop it. You've got to make it a little bit closer. So what we actually did before was we had like 1 a month calls, but they were too far apart. And now we have once a week calls. They're too close together. So we're going to go ahead and try this every other week and see how that works out. So with that being said, my name's Amir. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave me a comment below. I hope this made it very clear on what promotion strategy is, why it works, how to do it in a startup standpoint, how to go ahead and actually build an effective business, and how to actually do it literally with no money in your pocket in terms of setting up an event and getting people to it. So you could set up a Facebook event on Facebook. You can invite a bunch of people to it. There's a ton of different ways to do it. And then the magic is when you have focused energy and effort towards one particular outcome, guess what happens? Let's say you want 100 people to your next event. That's the only thing you should worry about. And you work your ass off towards getting that. And guess what? Your business will start to skyrocket. My name is Amir. Leave me a comment below. I hope this was valuable to you, and I'll see you on the next training.